What's up, everyone? It's Monday, March 31st, 2025. We welcome you here to the He Said, She Said Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts. I am Big Red. This is my partner in crime, Tony. What's up, Tony? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're going to talk about the brackets first, the NCAA. Obviously, the tournament's going on. We're down to the Final Fours on both sides. We'll touch on the men's first. I kind of think you kind of had all yours right, if
Yeah, you
I'm
want to
not
talk you want to
mistaken.
talk about the men first? You want to save my rant about Juju Watkins and her poor ACL for a little bit later? We'll tease the people
Yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I did. I had it 100% correct, the final four for the men, because I knew that this was a boring year. That's what I knew, Big Red. It wasn't anything more than, listen, I'm just like everybody else, right? I look at the
hmm
odds. I look at what, went on during the season. I didn't watch every
yeah,
game, but what I did know is the one seeds looked like the one seeds and it looked pretty boring. So
yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't
for the
as much
first time,
excitement.
for the
There
first
wasn't
time
no
in over a decade, we're getting four one seeds in the final
yeah. I
four.
think it's since
And
like 2008.
like I told you, the last time it happened was 2008 in San Antonio. So
Yeah,
history was just ready to repeat itself. But like a couple of years ago, man, we had Yukon, Florida Gulf Coast, San Diego
hmm
State. We had a wild Final Four. That was
yeah.
March Madness. This is
We
March
had a 16
without
be
the
the
madness.
number one. So yeah, I get you.
This is literally March without the madness.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you're right in a lot of aspects. Like it wasn't like a Cinderella team. There wasn't, after the second round, there was no
No.
Cinderella teams there at all. I mean, it was
10 seed,
pretty,
the highest seed in the Sweet 16.
yeah. I think Arkansas, that was it. But
And they weren't really a 10 seed. Come on.
yeah, let's be honest with that too. Yeah, definitely. They kind of had a drop during out there through their year, which dropped them to a 10 seed, and then I think they lost early in the conference tournament too. So, but no, yeah, no, yeah, yours was perfect. Mine was like one off
Yeah.
because I had Tennessee going all the way, but they fell short to Houston.
Houston's defense.
Yeah, obviously, but no, I mean it's definitely set to be a good March Madness, but it's just kind of disappointing that you know all the one seeds are the ones that got in. I like to see the upsets. I like to see different teams kind of pull it together at the end and go on a streak. But here we are with all
Who do you
number
have
one
winning it
seeds.
all now?
Nah, the team I picked to win it is still in it, so I'm gonna go with Duke, man. Again, I'm not a Duke fan at all, but I just like their team. Cooper Flag and all the rest of those guys are deep. They just play well together, and they don't do much to hurt themselves in the games that they play. They just play so efficient, offensively and defensively. So they never like waver, even when teams go on runs. They still, keep it solid, bend but don't break. But yeah, I got Duke winning it all
I
for
mean,
sure. I got them playing Florida though.
yeah,
Uh,
I have them playing Florida. I have Florida winning. Listen, I think Duke right now looks like the most dominant team coming into the Final Four. They've won every
hmm
game that they're supposed to win in more dominating fashion. But
Yeah,
it's the same reason all year that I feel like Duke is this incredible team and they're not under the radar, but they've kind of flown under the radar in the sense that
yeah.
the SEC
Surprisingly,
so loaded. And you look at like 13 teams getting into the tournament in the SEC, right? And you got
hmm
to think these SEC teams are more prepared for this kind of competition. They're more prepared for the close games and don't necessarily know how Duke is going to perform in a close game like that. They haven't really had to do so. I mean, Arizona
yeah,
was the closest game that they played. And yes, beyond Cooper Flag, this is a deep Duke team that can handle themselves. But what
Hmm.
I looked at on the flip side, and take it or leave it, right? Florida, they were down to Texas Tech and they battled
Yeah.
back on an 18-4 run to go and win the game to advance to the Final Four. Now, what do you have there? The team that's more dominant or the team that buckles down and wins when they absolutely need to and has won in these close games?
Oh yeah, Florida is tough for sure. I like Florida a lot. They uh they play well for sure. Oh boy, Clayton, he's nice. He hits big shots and big moments all the time. Um, they're definitely a good team. Like if they played Duke in the finals and beat them, it wouldn't be a surprise to me. Like
Yeah.
they're definitely a great team. But I don't know. I just think if anybody matches up with Florida well, I think it would be Duke for sure
We're talking
to
about
do
it like
so.
these are the two teams in the
I
final.
know, and they both could lose easily
They could
and
easily
not
both
be in the
lose.
championship. Houston, it could be Houston and Auburn easily.
Yeah, I could definitely see Houston beating Duke, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I could see any of these teams beating each other. They're the
yeah,
ones
definitely.
for a reason.
No, definitely for sure. That's just what it is based off of, having the number one seeds, all those teams are so good, like I said, all it takes is for you to have one off night, one bad night, your season's done. So, uh, shout out to those teams making it to the Final Four, definitely. But yeah, no, so you got Florida winning it, I got Duke, right? Yeah,
Yep.
so
We'll see what happens.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, hopefully it's Florida versus Duke, so we have a little more to talk
So we got
about
something to
on our
talk
picks.
about.
Yeah. But
Well, we can
yeah,
talk about the women.
yeah, we definitely could talk about the women's. How exciting that tournament has been for
Well,
sure. Couple good teams this past week. Seasons ended, but yeah, let's look at the final four teams. You
first and
obviously,
foremost, do you want to dive into the Juju Watkins injury?
yeah, we definitely can dive into that. I mean, she tore her ACL, so she's done obviously for the rest of this season. Her team is still battling. They're playing well. I kind of think they kind of got they're playing for Juju, obviously,
They
but
had her little Funko Pop on the bench because they couldn't have her there.
yeah, yeah, but no, they're playing well, or they played well up to the game that they lost, obviously. But let's talk about that. How do you feel about the injury
Yeah,
and the team?
yeah. So, I mean, listen, this injury is absolutely devastating, not just for Juju Watkins, for USC, and specifically for this tournament run, but it's devastating to the sport of women's college basketball right now. You're looking at the star and then the future face of college basketball in Juju Watkins because Paige Beckers is about to go to the WNBA. You potentially are losing Flau'jae Johnson to the WNBA. You got to look at who's going
Hmm.
to be around, right, to be your face. And it's
Do you
Juju.
think? Quick question: do you think she'll come back,
What?
Flau'jae Johnson?
Oh, I think she's
Possibly.
making I
Basically,
think she's making enough NIL money where she might want to come back.
yeah, she might want to come back and make another run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
it's
right.
it's devastating and the fact that it happens often enough where I watched that misstep that she took, and it's just a misstep. There was no foul, there was no real
You
contact.
don't think there was no contact?
Not really.
It was.
Not
I
mm-mm.
mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day whether there was contact. It wasn't like the girl was intentionally trying to hurt Juju, but it looked like there was a little.
I just think it was regular. I don't think I would have even called it foul. Like
Yeah,
it was
no. I
regular
mean,
contact.
it's a basketball play for sure.
It was absolutely a basketball play. And she just took this one little misstep, and that's all it takes. And there's probably no athlete that's taking as good a care of their body, no women's athlete taking better care of their body than Juju Watkins, right?
Yeah.
She is an absolute unit of a basketball player, of an athlete. And all it takes is
Hmm.
one step, and the entire world, anybody who's watched women's basketball knows that that's an ACL tear immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at it, I
I
looked
mean, any
at
sports player, anybody who watches sports can know that. that was a significant injury for sure. The
And
minute it happened.
it's so disappointing that this is so common, especially in women's sports. I mean, there's probably 2 to 8 times the amount of
Hmm.
players in the women's side of sports than there are men. And it has something, I'm no biology expert, I'm no science expert, but it does have something to do with like the the balance between like your quad and your hamstring muscles and your glute muscles. Women
Uh-huh.
don't have the same balance in their quads to match the hamstring and glute that men do. There's a little more balance for men, from what
Yeah.
I understand. So it's a more common injury for women. But this is definitely something that like I urge people to look into because you lose players. It's an entire year. She's
Yeah.
out
Hmm.
for all of next year. She probably will not play next year.
Play, yeah.
It's
And
probably
then she'll probably go to the draft after that, you think?
no, not yet. She'll
She'll
only be
have another
a year,
year?
and I don't know if she'll
Okay.
have aged into it. And
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't go into the draft right after I'm coming back from ACL rehab. I'd play another year of college. So,
No, definitely for
uh,
sure. As she should. I
I
mean,
don't
I
think she'll be
recommend that as
eligible.
well.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be
Yeah.
eligible
I
yet.
didn't know if she would be eligible by age or year yet or not, but
But I feel for her. My thoughts are with her. Obviously,
definitely.
her team supporting her, wearing her Nike shirts to go into the game. They're definitely
Yeah.
playing for her with a ferocity. They went out, they won that next game. They fought back. They fought hard.
Yeah, they did. They
And
definitely did.
now tonight, as we are speaking, they're preparing to face a UConn team where Paige fucking Beckers just dropped a 40 piece,
Yeah.
back-to-back career highs for Paige Beckers.
Hmm.
40
Yeah, Paige
points
Buckets.
against Oklahoma. She
Yeah, no.
single-handedly led her team to that win because that was tied at halftime. People were stressed
Uh-huh.
time. And she
Well,
came out 29 points in the second half.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely a monster. She's that girl.
Yeah, for sure. And that 29 points in the second half was like the most in like the last 20 years or something like that, or even more longer. I can't remember what year it was, but
She
no,
outscored
she
Oklahoma by herself.
yeah, no, definitely. I like Paige for sure. She's one of my top players, and she's just got that shot, man. She can get it anywhere she want, mid range, three. Like I said, she can obviously create for her team if need be, but she just got the total all around game, and it's good to see her back at this level, especially after the injuries she had
She had
in
an
her
ACL
career. Yeah,
injury.
she had an ACL as well. So,
Yeah.
it's good to see her back at that level, and we'll hope to see Juju back at that level too, which I'm sure she will be for sure once she
Yeah, Paige has shown
rehabs.
you can do it. Paige is absolutely
Yeah.
you could do it. But what really truly impresses me about Paige Beckers more than anything else is her mental approach to this game. The way that she's able to read second, third level defenses. Yes, she can shoot from anywhere. Yes, that pull-up game that she
Hmm.
has, her mid-range game is
Yeah.
flawless. It's so good. And it looks like her three ball has improved even throughout the
That's what I think so too. Yeah, definitely
but
has.
the
She
way she
been
reads
hot.
defenses and the way, like, there was a backdoor cut she made that
Hmm.
just, I mean, the way that
Oh,
she,
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then she also hit Sarah Strong on a backdoor cut on a backwards pass from the free throw line. She has the ability to see multi layers of the defense all at one time and anticipate next moves in a way that not a lot of college basketball players can. And it's so impressive. Her approach to the game, her
Yeah,
drive.
she's
You can
definitely
see
versatile.
she only has one thing on her mind right now, and that's winning a national championship.
Yeah, no, definitely. The team I picked to win the national championship is done, which
They are
was
done.
Notre Dame. Uh,
Because your girl,
but
Haley Van Lith, dropped 26 on him.
yeah, no, shout out to her. That's my girl too. I'm definitely was rooting for her too as well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Notre Dame
no,
could not get it done
they're
against
done.
you.
Yeah. But
I
who
saw
do you have?
I saw a lot of hate this week on Haley
Uh-huh.
Van Lith for all the team changes that she's done, for being a fifth year player. I just want to sit here right now and tell you that that's bullshit. First of
It
all,
is.
the reason that a lot of these ladies are able to play a fifth year is because of the extra COVID year, first and
Yeah.
foremost. We're not sitting here and ragging on Paige Beckers the same way that we're ragging on Haley Van Lith for taking a fifth year. What? Because she changed teams? I
Yeah.
just think that that's insane. I mean, there are players in the league. Look at her teammate, Sedona Prince. They just showed that she was on the Texas team for the 2018-19 season.
Hmm.
She's been in college for an eternity. Players get injured, things happen. The COVID year added an entire extra year. These
Yeah.
women are still playing college basketball, but stop saying that they're too old to be there because we're not saying that about the men. We weren't saying that about 23-year-old Jaden Daniels, 24-year-old Sam Hartman. We're not saying that about these
Well, no,
football
that
players.
it
So
gets
why are we
spoke
giving
about, and it gets spoke about. I just kind of think it's the day of the age where people just want to find a reason to, criticize. But now, like I said, as far as the men and women's, the transfer portal, that's just what it is. You're able to do it until they change the rules or whatever. That's how it's going to be. So, and then, like I said, with Haley Van Lith, like I said, that's my girl. I like her a lot. She's one of my top players for sure. And things just didn't work out for her. And if you have the option to use, that's just like saying you have an option to use in life, but you don't use it. It's like, why wouldn't you not use it if it's there? And it's
she's
like,
been to the Elite Eight all 5 years.
all 5 years. It
She
wasn't like,
she's the first college basketball player to lead three teams to an Elite Eight. I just
yeah,
think
no, and that's dope.
that's awesome. I don't know
Yeah,
why
no,
we're
that's
hating
dope.
so much on that. Like, just because it didn't work for you somewhere. Like, she was at Louisville. She had a great experience at Louisville. They parted ways very civilly, but some of the key pieces of that team graduated, so she decided to make a change and go to LSU.
Uh-huh.
Even Kim Mulkey will tell you she was a leader on that LSU team. She was completely unselfish. She changed her entire position. She changed the way she played the game
Yeah.
to fit
She
into
played out of position. Yeah.
played out of position to fit into that team, and
Hmm.
just really wasn't what she wanted, right? It hurts your draft stock to play differently at times. And so
Yeah.
she went and she found somewhere in TCU that was willing to accept all of that. And she's having massive success now.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think TCU would have been there without Haley Van Lee for real.
Really not.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a decent team, but I mean, she was just that spark plug that kept them going throughout the tournament for sure, and throughout the season as well. But no, definitely.
Did you
Who do
see
you
her
have?
dad on the sideline with Jalen Suggs?
Yeah, Jalen Suggs. I didn't know
Her
she was
dad
dating Jalen Suggs,
Her
which
dad
is
geeks me though. He's such a dad. Like
yeah,
he's
yeah, no,
dropping three balls and he's doing the most dad dance of all time on
uh-huh,
the lines.
doing chest bumps and all kind of stuff. Yeah, I
Hilarious.
didn't know she was dating Jalen Suggs though.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Bueno
Yeah,
Bonte.
he plays for the Magic. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, for sure. Jalen Suggs, he actually played football too, which was crazy. He was highly recruited as quarterback in football, but he chose basketball, which was obviously the right move. Um, but yeah, no. Speaking of that, who do you still have winning as far as the women's?
Yeah, so we didn't really cover the UCLA LSU game or South Carolina Duke. Obviously,
Hmm.
I think UCLA is a really strong team. Lauren Betts has been performing to like the best of her capabilities, and we're seeing
Yeah,
peak performance from this UCLA team. Their bench depth has propelled them forward because in that LSU game, Lauren Betts got into some foul trouble and they were able to maintain.
it was a tight game.
Yeah, but they were able to maintain without Lauren Betts on the court for almost an entire quarter. And
Hmm.
then when she went back out in the second half, she didn't let those fouls deter her. She just continued to play her game. She is an incredible basketball player. I still have UConn beating them. And then on the flip side, South Carolina and Duke was a much closer game than I ever anticipated. And so now South
Yeah,
Carolina has played two extremely close games in a row. Maryland went down to the wire, and then Duke went down to the wire.
Hmm.
They are looking
And
extreme.
we didn't think that it was going to be close
I
either
know.
when we
They
talked
have so
about
much depth that you would never think, and so much talent within that depth. You would never think that it'd be a problem if somebody's having an off night, somebody else can show up.
it.
But
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem like this South Carolina team has the it factor. And so I had chosen South Carolina to win, but
Hmm.
I would like to, and you can hold me to my
But maybe that's what they
you,
needed, though.
you can
Kind
hold
of.
me to my picks in my bracket, whatever. But right here, right now, I'm gonna tell you, UConn is going to win the damn thing. Paige Beckers is in peak form. She is, I mean,
Yeah. No,
the,
I got
the
UConn
40
winning it
piece
too.
was nuts.
Yeah. No, I got UConn winning it too. Like I said, Notre Dame lost, who I had winning it, and I had Notre Dame playing UConn actually, but um, UConn's definitely probably going to win it all. But I would say like South Carolina, like you said, they played the close games, but maybe that's something they might have needed. If they would have blew them out and that it had just been an easy game, maybe they would have lacked off a little bit. But playing those close games will maybe keep the hunger in them, maybe. You know, so
I don't know.
well,
I don't think the hunger is there. I don't
you
think
don't think it's
they're
there?
the same way. The way that I've watched now some of these teams, like the way that I watch Lauren Betts go to the basket, the way that we're
Hmm.
watching Paige Beckers and Azzy Fudd and Sarah Strong play, like honestly, it just isn't comparable. It's not comparable. The fight that Haley Van Lith is putting out on the floor every day
Hmm.
looks, very strong as well. South Carolina just doesn't have it. Whatever that it is, they don't have it this year.
Yeah.
Through this tournament, they have just looked extremely shaky and extremely vulnerable.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it could maybe help them a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they're well coached, so maybe they can get it together. Like you said, UConn is definitely looking like the best team ahead of the rest right now. We still got a couple more games to see to determine the final two spots, but um, South Carolina is definitely a dangerous team for sure.
Nah, give
Who do
me
you,
UConn. I told you I wanted to pick UConn when we made these brackets, and I just couldn't do it. And now I can do it. I feel good about it. I love this UConn team. I really do. And I want to see
Mm-hmm.
them win it. More than anything, I want to see them win it, but it looks like they want to see them win it more than anybody else. But
Yeah, no, definitely. They're looking like they're on a mission for sure. I mean,
they have a
I
tough
like that
matchup
team.
tonight
Yeah,
against USC. They have a tough matchup tonight against USC.
I think that's in the ballpark, you ask me.
But
But
it's definitely
without Juju,
It's
there's
definitely
nothing.
way more doable without Juju. And
Yeah,
so, say they win tonight, they do have to go face UCLA, who's in its first ever Final Four. I'm so excited for them. And there's
yeah.
part of me that wants to root for them too. I wish that was the final. I wish that could be the final. I have no need to see South
UConn,
Carolina in
UCLA,
the final again.
which
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that
love
would be a good final for
United, and I
sure.
don't
But
want to send UCLA home before the final, but I think UConn can beat them.
yeah, no, that'll be tough to match up too for sure. No, UConn's definitely going to beat USC. Unless it's just like a terrible night. They just fall off the face of the earth tonight. But uh, yeah, no, definitely give me UConn in that. And also, like I said, I'll take UConn beating UCLA as well in a tough match.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
they'll
you
have
got,
to definitely.
TCU or Texas to make the Final Four to
I
close
got
it?
TCU. Come on now, I'm going with Haley Van all the way.
Yeah.
Uh, I got them. Texas is tough though. I mean, obviously they're a good team, tough team, well defensive, on the buckets and they rebound well. But no, give me TCU though. I just feel like they're playing well and Haley Van Lith. I don't know. She's been able to get it done so far, so I'm gonna keep riding with her for sure. So give me TCU. Who
I'm
you got?
I'm very excited. I have TCU in that game as well. I want the upset. I want to see
Yeah,
them
me too. Yeah.
continue to play. I really do love this TCU team. I think that they're great. and there's the like just everything about them, man, except for one.
Yeah.
Everything about them except for the one thing is just energy, 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 and like that's the spark that you need to go far in this tournament. And the thing that I
Hmm.
said about them maybe not being able to gel as a team and maybe that hurting them doesn't seem to be affecting them. They seem
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
ignoring it.
No, definitely is not doesn't seem to be affecting them as well. So with our picks, we'll basically have UConn, UCLA, TCU, South Carolina, Final Four matchup.
I think we agree there.
Yeah. Um, Obviously we got UConn beating UCLA, but who do you have out of TCU, South Carolina?
I would probably give that one to South Carolina. I think that's a
Yeah.
winnable game for them. I think if they get like if they're there and that's what happens, I think that they can get to a national championship.
Yeah, I think so too. I would have South Carolina beating TCU in that one. I think that would just be too much for them. But and then obviously UConn winning it all in the championship. But they still got to play the games for us to see. So
They
uh,
still have to play the games. They have to play tonight. They have to advance tonight. So
hmm
a lot on
okay,
the table for them, but
yeah,
I'm just excited. And you know what? No matter who wins, it's going to be an exciting couple of games here. I mean, these
it
are
is
the
going to
best
be an
teams
exciting
in the
couple of
country.
games for sure. I'm definitely going to be peeking in on that Texas TCU matchup tonight for
Yeah,
sure.
7 o'clock.
Uh, yeah, I'm definitely peeking in on that. There's still a little bit more madness left for the women's than the men for sure. So
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to that.
Let's stay on the topic of women's basketball here. Jump WNBA.
Hmm.
The New York Liberty announced like the craziest practice facility. It's like an $80 million practice facility that they're building in Greenpoint,
Yeah.
in Manhattan, like or in Brooklyn, right on the water.
Hmm.
I saw some of the shots of the makeups of it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. That's what happens when you are a winner. Is you get a practice facility. You saw the Aces do it when they won, and now you're
Uh-huh.
seeing Liberty build out their own practice facility. And I just think the money that we're investing into women's basketball right now is just so
The
exciting
growth
for me.
is
Growth is
growing.
so exciting for me, especially with now they've got the upcoming CBA renegotiation in 2026, which is why Brianna Stewart signed a 1 year deal with the Liberty this week. And
Yeah.
the reason that it's a 1 year deal, a lot of people online are like, "What is this? Why is she getting a 1 year prove it deal? Why is it just 1 year?"
Obviously, she deserves it more than 1 year
Obviously, they
deal.
want to keep
Obviously.
her around longer, but the CBA renegotiation that's coming up in 2026 is such a big question mark. It is why we're seeing so many 1 year contracts this year because we don't know
Yeah.
what we're going to be able to offer people the year following.
Uh-huh. And they want to be ahead of the schedule as far as their contracts and where they are in their careers.
Yeah, it's
So they want to
super,
wait
super
that
high
out to
number of
see.
1 year deals this year.
So I totally understand where those ladies are coming from. You give me this 1 year deal. Let's see what works out, and then we can talk after next season.
Yeah, I mean, the success of Unrivaled, the introduction of Paige into the league, potentially, some of the other big names into the league,
Hmm.
26, like AZ, Flauget, Lauren Betts, they'll all be coming in probably 2026. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much on the horizon, and then Juju after that. So, like,
Hmm.
there's
The
so
growth is there.
there's
Yeah.
so much room for growth, and it's so exponential. I'm just so excited about these renegotiations and to see like what we're able to offer these women when it comes to their salaries because they deserve more.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I heard something about Angel Reese talking about sitting out or something like that.
Here's the
But
thing. Because I saw that too.
I touched the nerve.
Listen, I've seen a lot of people on the internet be like, where does she get off saying they're going to sit out? The WNBA has never made a profit. Da 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 da. I agree. The WNBA has not made a profit. They have
Hmm.
no basis to stand on when it comes to sitting out because of the WNBA. The thing
Yeah.
that gives them a basis to stand, like it gives them a leg to stand on, is the success of Unrivaled. So Angel Reese, my issue there is she wants to credit it solely to herself and
Yeah.
maybe Caitlin Clark because they're kind of in tandem on that one, but she wants to
Uh-huh.
credit it mostly to her and Caitlin's beef in air quotations. But it's also about Unrivaled, and it's about the success that other women's basketball leagues have now been able to find. So what they were able to do. So Angel Girl, you can credit Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart for creating a situation where they've shown you that you can make this kind of money that makes you feel like you deserve to be able to sit out. Because it's certainly
Yeah.
not from the profit that the WNBA is bringing in.
They're definitely not 100%. And like I said, them making that unrivaled just kind of expanded things for sure and opened the horizon for, like you said, a lot of women and the free agency and all of that stuff. So definitely, I think she's talking crazy with the sitting out thing for sure.
And I don't think
I
she
don't.
will, by the way. I don't think she would sit out at all.
Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna miss that money,
No.
and just sit out a season. How your teammates gonna look at you if you just sit out. But no, definitely. Shout out to the Liberty on their new practice facility. I think that's going to be a trend too, for sure. Uh, in a few more cities and maybe some stadiums, new stadiums being built.
Yeah,
Where
although I like when they work out of the NBA facility,
uh-huh
well, when they play in
facilities.
the same arena. I think
Uh-huh.
that's really fun and it creates this bond. If you look at like the Fever and the Pacers and how they go to all of each other's games and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That's a great bond and a great way to cross promote. So I don't know
Yeah,
that
no, because the Liberty
I'm
play in
all
Madison
for it.
Square, right?
They play at
Or
Barclays.
Barclays? Okay,
So,
got you.
but I mean, I you don't see a ton of to me, the Fever and the Pacers, the Indiana duo, they do the best job of supporting each other. You see so much
Hmm.
of Caitlin at Pacers games and so much of Tyrese at Fever games. Their cross-pollination is so good there.
Yeah, cross
It's truly
promoting.
like
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
truly like a brother-sister situation.
Hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely dope for the sport, for sure. But yeah, no, shout out to the Liberty on that new facility. I'm curious to see what it's gonna look like out in Brooklyn, right? Makes sense.
Greenpoint.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do a switcheroo to the NFL. Got a couple things to talk about in that aspect. Let's talk about the Giants and their QB room and adding your boy Jameis and Russ.
This is a QB room that I want followed 24/7. Just there is no better quarterback room made for the New York market than Tommy Cutlets DeVito,
Uh-huh.
Jameis Winston, and Russell Wilson.
Listen, crazy man. I don't. I'm kind of wondering what they thinking with all those. I mean, I get it, but it's just like,
I mean, you got Mr. Unlimited, you've got Jameis, and
mm-hmm.
you have Tommy DeVito. Like,
Yeah,
what are they going to talk about? What could they
interesting.
possibly say to each other?
It's gonna be interesting for sure. As far as the character and personality wise, I
I am
think
disappointed that Jameis won't be starting.
that's my whole thing. It's
I
like,
hope
why
that
bring in Russ?
they give Jameis a chance. Like I hope that
Yeah.
they let him compete for that starting job. Because just because he's
Hmm.
Russell Wilson on Russell Wilson name branding alone should not necessarily just give him that starting job, especially because he's on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
They signed Jameis to a 2 year deal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I just didn't like the Russ pickup for real. I really don't understand it for the Giants. Like, you know, Jameis, I more understood, give him a chance.
I think it's a
But
1 year we're waiting for Arch Manning deal.
if they get that, I mean, they're gonna suck, in my opinion. They're gonna struggle, but number one draft pick or
I
top
think
two,
they'll give away just about anything for it. I think that that's probably what they're committed to at this point is
yeah.
is getting a quarterback next draft. I don't think they'll draft at this point. I don't think it'd be smart to draft a quarterback.
Well, yeah, no, definitely not at this point. It definitely wouldn't be smart. But
So Russell only being on a 1 year deal means we're gonna wait it out for 1 year.
yeah, no, I get it. I get the logic, but if it doesn't work out for you, it's just like, and I more so believe in trying to like, play for the now.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, Russell's no
no slouch.
DeVito, yeah, but he's not what I wouldn't have gave him a 1 year deal. Sure. Obviously there wasn't as
The
many.
bigger thing is where does this leave the Steelers?
Yeah,
They don't have a quarterback.
no. They must really like somebody in the draft or something. I don't really know. Or they're going to go get Kirk Cousins
Where they
or sign Aaron Rodgers. If they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, maybe they go try to get Kirk Cousins.
seems
Either
like
that or they really like one of these quarterbacks in the draft.
I kind of seems like Kirk Cousin is gonna stay where he is. You haven't
Yeah,
really
it definitely seems like that.
you haven't seen much of it talks of him going anywhere else. Uh, it looks like the Browns are probably going quarterback in there with their draft pick because they don't really have anybody. I mean, you're not starting Kenny Pickett. You can't seriously tell me that you're going to start Kenny Pickett.
Two gloves, Kenny.
Yeah, like come on. And then the Steelers, they don't have a high draft pick. They're going to have to if they want to go get a quarterback, they're probably going to have to trade up for him. It's a
I mean, it
quarterback.
just depends if Jackson Dart can fall to him if they like him.
Are you going
You
to wait
know,
on that though? Are you going to risk that and wait on that with no real quarterback option?
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. They definitely might try to move up, and if that's the aspect, but it depends on what they're hearing and what the rumors are. Jackson might fall to him, or maybe it's another quarterback we're not talking about that they like. I don't know, but I'm not. I haven't heard much about what they're doing or what direction they're going in. We hear things, but
I'm just gonna say, as a Bengals fan, I'm thrilled about it. Thrilled.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, you got George Pickens and DK Metcalf waiting on somebody to throw them the ball, and it's gonna be either
a
Slim Pickens
rookie.
or a rookie.
No, yeah,
I couldn't be happier.
I think they'll probably at the end of the day they might probably just going to work something out with Aaron Rodgers. Like that's the only logical choice. Even though I'm not a fan of that as well. But
But he is giving them the runaround for real
yeah,
in that facility
and
for like
I
10
don't even know why he's
hours.
doing that because he don't really have much options.
Well,
Like,
he thinks he has a lot of options. I don't know
well,
why.
he's delusional. Don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers had a great career. He's a great player. Definitely probably a future Hall of Famer. But like I said, right now, bro, you don't have many options. You better, if you still wanting to play, you can take what you get. Obviously, you're up there in age in your career. You just came off an Achilles injury that definitely slowed you down. You definitely don't look the same as you was before the injury. So it looks like, you know, work your options. Pittsburgh is not a bad team now. If it was like, another team that was struggling, I could see him being hesitant. But Pittsburgh has a decent pieces together. They have obviously a good defense. Like you said, they picked up DK and got Pickens and Fryermuth, I think they're a tight end. But yeah, no, they got some good pieces there. Even though, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of it, but like for him, it's like, what options do you have, bro? So why are you giving the runaround? The quicker you get in there, the quicker you can get started. So,
I don't know.
you know,
I don't
I
know.
definitely don't know about that. But let's talk about another team in in Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Eagles, and this whole tush push thing that's still been going on crazy,
Yeah.
which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. I just think it's a petty thing. It's petty, man. It's
Apparently,
petty as hell.
are getting a lot of support on this tush push ban proposal. What a
But
lot
you
of
know
support.
why? It's not valid reasons though. It's out of sure pettiness.
But like,
You know,
I'm sorry that you can't run the play.
yeah.
What do you
And
mean?
you
It's
could
not.
you can actually do it, but you just don't have the quarterback. And this is the thing they're trying to say: injuries. Show me where an injury happened, even during the tush push, where somebody got injured. I have never seen it, and that's my team. I watch them every week. I never seen injury from the tush push happen offensively or defensively. I've never seen it. So for them to try to make it seem like it's an injury prone thing, you know, I heard Mike Tomlin saying that in the interview where he was like, it's injury prone. That's why they took it out of the field goal thing. No, the field goal is totally different from the tush push, buddy. And like I said, there's no injuries whatsoever in that, you know. So it's just like I said, it's just ridiculous. And there's a video out. I'm going to send it to you too. I know you haven't seen it, but I want you to see it so bad because it's crazy. Because this all started with the Green Bay Packers, you know, and their president Mark Murphy, which I can't stand because of this. But they the one who try to start the ban for the tush push. But there's a video out of Jordan Love trying to do the tush push and failed miserably. Like he didn't even the line didn't move, nobody moved but him. It was just a fail miserably, and it's like to me, I just feel again like it's ridiculous, it's petty. There was even a source from another team, anonymous source, that stated that he felt like they were just banning up to try to ban it out of pettiness, and that you know Philadelphia is because they're the only team that can run it so well and are willing to do it. And a lot of people were talking about Jalen Hurts being willing to do it with the money he's being made. I'm like, well, he's a quarterback. And believe it or not, the second team that's good at doing it is the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. You feel me? So it's
Yeah,
like if
that
you
sounds
have those
okay.
type of, yeah, he's a tank. And like I said, Jalen Hurts, no slouch. You know, he squats 600 pounds. He's a strong guy. So if you have those type of quarterbacks that can do that, obviously they're going to be more successful, you know, than other quarterbacks that you may have, than Aaron Rodgers, for say, or Russell Wilson, you know. So, like I said, I just think it's just ridiculous. Even if it wasn't my team that was doing it, I would think that this was ridiculous, you
I think
know,
it's
like,
I think it's
yeah,
so.
it's like that, and that you're coming up to try to ban it. And there was like a rumor that coaches were arguing about it, like in person. I want to say Sirianni and Sean McVay and McDermott for the Bills, because I don't think the Bills were against it. So there, I heard there were like some arguments between the coaches about it, and I'm just like, I don't understand what the big deal is, to be honest. It's like if you could,
All the
it's
coaches
just
are
because you
together
can't.
right now, so I'm sure if there's any drama, we'll see it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like you know, just because you can't stop it, it's that's literally what it is. It's like you
Yeah,
can't
that's
do
pretty much
nothing
what
about
it
it.
could be because I
So
haven't seen
let's ban it.
Greece
Anytime
either.
somebody comes up with something creative or does something new, it's like, oh, we don't like it. We can't do nothing about it. We can't stop it. Let's ban it. You know, they just try to ban everything. It's just like it's crazy. It's ridiculous, man, for sure.
Yeah. No, I think it's a silly thing to for it to even be gaining traction just means that there are a lot of petty people out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the coaches are some, and including Green Bay. And I'm calling out Green Bay and y'all fans out there. I'm not
Oh
sure
yeah,
what.
nobody really likes the Green Bay Packers fans.
I got a couple homies that's Green Bay fans too. They not gonna like this segment that we're
I don't
talking
think
about.
there's really I don't think there's a lot of support for the Green Bay Packers supporters. I don't
I
think people
think
like them too much.
I think you just probably sparked them up, whatever ones are out there for sure. We're saying that,
But
but
I hate to say
who
it,
cares?
but I'm lactose intolerant, so
Yeah, so you don't eat cheese.
really can't do cheese.
No, for sure. I don't agree with this whatsoever, man. Definitely I don't know what Green Bay's deal is. Obviously they lost to Philly in the playoffs and regular season. So last couple times we played them, I don't know if they're butt hurt or what, but yeah, it's definitely mind blowing that this has gone to the level it's gone over a play for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think of Stephon Diggs to the Patriots? That was an interesting move, in my opinion.
I I like that move actually. It's a good spot for him to kind of revive his career. Not saying that he needed reviving, but he kind of had a couple injuries and kind of fell off a little bit with the Texans. But this is a good pickup for the Patriots. Gives Drake May another weapon to throw at. Obviously, they didn't have many receivers there.
Didn't have many
So,
to throw to.
yeah, yeah,
It's just
for sure.
funny. It's funny to me because
But he'll be playing the Bills again twice a year. So
oh, well,
I think
that
that's,
that too. The Bills twice a year is hilarious. But
yeah,
also like Stephon Diggs is the guy that is known for whining about not getting enough targets, not getting enough touches, not
yeah.
getting enough,
Diva was
not
what
getting
they
enough,
call him.
being a big time diva. He is now going to go to a team where he's probably poised for 200 targets. It,
Yeah, he should have big
right.
numbers
He
with the
should have big
Patriots.
numbers. When he complains about the workload, I just want to say, I said it now. He's going to complain about the
Said, mark this down.
yeah.
I'm calling it now because
A
he's going to
diva is
complain.
a diva, okay? A diva is a diva. And
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it's going to be like something is going to go wrong, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
the Patriots don't have all the pieces yet. So when something
Yeah.
goes wrong, it's going to be, well, I hit so many targets and we're working so hard and like I just can't do it all myself and like I can see it. It's written in the stars. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think it's a good pickup for the Patriots. I mean, like again, it's a guy who's craving targets. He's coming off of a down year because of an injury, so he's looking
Mm-hmm.
to rehabilitate, come back stronger.
Yep.
You're gonna give him a ton of targets, and do with that what he will. Let's see if he's got what it takes. Let's see if he's got what he's been whining about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely a diva for sure, in my opinion as well. Because I didn't really understand why you wanted to leave Buffalo with the pieces and things y'all had going on there. Like, it
He
just
wasn't
was
getting enough,
mind blowing to me.
he wasn't getting enough targets. Josh ran the
But
ball.
But hey, sometimes you gotta be an unselfish player when it comes to that. If you really want to win, some people just don't want to win. Some people just want to get the numbers, have the individual accolades, and get their money while they're here. Some people don't want to win. If you just like my team, the Eagles, if you look at them, AJ Brown, he's kind of that diva-ish mode. He'll whine sometimes about not getting the ball certain weeks and stuff like that. But like then you have guys like Devontae Smith who don't care how many touches he gets or not. He'll just play and do what he have to do. But I mean, yeah, it's a good pickup for them. They got him on a 3-year deal. Like I said, hopefully he does what he has to do without the whining. And
Definitely him.
yeah. But the Patriots still got to get a couple more pieces for sure for them to be in the contention for the AFC East. So
Excited to see how they draft. Definitely excited to see how they draft because it's going to be really,
yeah,
really good for them.
yeah, no, definitely.
Young, inexpensive pieces are going to be key for them.
Yeah, they're going to have to hit on their drafts for sure, especially on the offensive side. They got some good defensive pieces, a couple good defensive pieces, a couple good young players over there. I like the Christian
Their
Gonzalez
corner's
kid.
awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, they definitely got to hit on their draft for sure. Um, Something still NFL wise was kind of off subject. Asante Samuel, a former cornerback of the New England Patriots, and he played for my Eagles too for a little while. But he was on, I don't know what he was on, a podcast or something. And there was a conversation about like, Deion Sanders being known as like the greatest cornerback of all time. And he had something to say about that. And he denied that Dion was the best. He felt like he was the best. Um, he compared his numbers from his best year to Dion's best year, right? Which, if you do it in that aspect, yes, you had a better single season than Dion had. You had 10 interceptions one year, and I think Dion's biggest year was like 7 or 8.
Mhm.
But I
To
think
look at the
he's
career as a whole when you
Yeah, if
talk.
you look at the career as a whole, he's absolutely delusional. Asante Samuel is. And then also you just gotta like, yes, they do show he has some good points about how they persuade or pursue or go about claiming Dion as the best corner and not really giving new corners the opportunity to take the realm, which I understand it from that aspect. But a corner is actually going to have to take it from the realm because Dion is the best cornerback ever. I watched him in the 90s play, for the Niners and the Cowboys and even for the Falcons. Teams were literally scared to throw his way. So, yeah, he might have not had a 10-year interception season, but that was because he got thrown at less, and he played a lot more man coverage. Yeah, he played some zone, but he was known to lock you down man to man, and there was nobody who could do it like Dion. So I just feel like Asante Samuel is just delusional. And then when you look at the total interceptions for career, Dion has more, you know. He obviously has more touchdowns than him as well. Asante Samuel's, don't get me wrong, he's a great player. He used to get a lot of pick sixes all the time. He was known for that, like getting pick sixes. But your numbers don't add up career wise and impact wise. You weren't that. Teams weren't scared to throw your way. You feel me? Like nobody was scared to throw at you.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I just wanted to touch on that. I don't know how you feel about that. Him making those comments about not being the best or whatever, but yeah, him saying he's the
I
best.
pretty much second everything that you say. I don't think I need to go too much into it. Dion obviously had the better career by a lot. So
Yeah, no, me looking at the stats right now. Hold on.
yeah, Dion, obviously I'm a big supporter of Dion Sanders and Colorado program, so it's gonna be hard for, you to get me
hmm
to.
Asante Samuel had 51, and Dion, I believe, had 53, 54 interceptions. So it's just like, you know, come on, man, what are you talking about here? Um, it's just delusional for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some young up and coming cornerbacks that have the potential to be like that, but you actually have to go and do it for a longevity period of time, like Dion did, throughout the 90s. And everyone knew that. That wasn't a secret. And, he played in an era too where there wasn't a lot as much passing as it is now. We're in a pass happy league now, but where the running game is kind of diminished, the running back position is not what it used to be. So uh, for him to do that then, I can imagine what he would do now. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing before we go.
hmm
In the same vein, still talking about Colorado here, so still kind of on the Dion track.
On the Dion, yeah.
The
I know where you're
NCAA,
going.
the NCAA denied Deion Sanders' proposal for teams
Uh-huh.
to be able to play against other teams for the Colorado Syracuse scrimmage for spring football. And I'm
Yeah.
so beyond disappointed. So disappointed. They credit it to a lot of things, including injuries, including the transfer portal, including
hmm
like the different, schedules and timing of spring football and how a lot
Yeah.
of schools already have their spring schedules planned and
hmm
all of these things that they gave it credit to, but I just think it's a mistake on the NCAA's part, and I think that they definitely need to rework how they look at the roadblocks that spring football is now facing due to the portal and due to the NIL.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's something they need to look into, definitely into the future. I know they were kind of trying to rush and get it done now for this season, but I mean, the times and the schedules and all that, you can switch all of those if you plan for the future. If you do this in maybe 2 or 3 years, you can kind of plan around that. But I just think that, it got denied because they were trying to do it too soon. The odds were against them because of the time, obviously, and the schedules, like you mentioned, and then things you have to worry about as well with that is like you said, the transfer portal, you know.
You also have to
Um,
worry about injuries. You have to worry about essentially it's like adding a 13th game when it comes to NIL
hmm
opportunities and things like that. So there are
yeah.
a lot of contingent factors, and I do understand why this was a decision that had to be made, but I do think it's a decision that you have to figure out how to make it possible.
Yeah, that's basically what I was touching on too. That you definitely have to look at this in the future. it can definitely be something that can be worked on, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a full go scrimmage, like if you look at the spring games, none of the teams are really doing full go. It's just like kind of just wrapping up and letting the guy go, and then some teams even do touch where you touch them and it's done. So I mean, yeah, I mean they'll worry about injuries and things like that, but it doesn't have to be like full go. You could just get the work in, physically, especially like with the O line. The linebackers and corners and safeties might not get much work unless it's passing plays, but obviously running the ball, you can just kind of hit, wrap up, not take them to the ground. I mean, they can decipher that because a lot of teams do that in their spring games as well, including Ohio State,
Yeah.
my team. But yeah, it definitely has to be looked into to the future because I mean, I would like to see it. I wouldn't mind it. And the only thing though is, are they going to make everybody do it once it's a rule, or can it be a thing where like teams pick and choose? Because some teams might not want to do it or care to do it. Some coaches might be like, I don't care to scrimmage against another team. So is it one of those things where they're going to make everyone do it as a whole, and as far as scheduling, or are teams going to be able to like pick and choose? It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to shape out as far as future wise, for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot to think about, but in the meantime, I'll continue to be disappointed that we're not going to get a Colorado Syracuse matchup.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, no, yeah,
my
definitely.
alma
It would have
mater,
been good. Yeah,
Colorado is my brother's.
yeah,
So it would have been a great little family event. And
yeah. A little battle.
like I
Yeah.
said, love Fran Brown, love Deion Sanders. Would have been a
Hmm.
fun battle. So
Two
I'm
young great coaches. Yeah,
disappointed that we're not going to get to see it.
yeah, no, definitely. But let's not hold out for the future, definitely, because I mean they can definitely figure it out. But it's just a lot. They still need to figure out the transfer portal, some things with that too. So they definitely got a lot on their hands. But yeah, no, we are out of time, and we appreciate y'all for checking us out on the He Said She Said Sports Talk podcast. We are your hosts, Big Red and Tony. We thank you guys, and as always, it's love and peace.